Live from KSAT 12, the 6 o'clock news starts right now.
School districts across Texas trying to figure out how to implement changes after a new state law took effect this week.
That law promises more parental rights and also changes the way that teachers and school staffers interact with LGBTQ plus students.
Coming up, you'll see how the law is playing out in one San Antonio school district.
But first, we're going to begin here with our weekend because the big theme is the weather.
And meteorologist Adam Caskey joining us now. Adam, it is the timing of this weekend rain that we have been watching for days.
Yeah, and I think the best way to put it is by Saturday afternoon and evening, we'll have some storms, about 40% coverage, and I think it especially favors the hill country. And then by Sunday, many storms. It's going to be off and on throughout the day. It's not going to be everywhere at once, just randomly popping up from the pre-dawn hours all the way through sunset. Some showers and thunderstorms and downpours, of course, mixed in. And that could lead to some localized flash flooding. So you look at the chances here. 40% Saturday, fall off a little bit Saturday night, then up to 70% coverage Sunday, and then starting to taper off as we get into Monday. This is all the remnants of what was Hurricane Lorena, already throwing moisture into Texas and a little bit of shower activity off into North and West Texas. And we're getting some of the high, thin cirrus clouds from this. They're sneaking into our area. And where you get those this evening, you're going to have a nice sunset, just like we had yesterday evening. The clouds will thicken tomorrow, and we'll talk more about the primary headlines with this rain, how much rain we could get, and its impacts in just a bit.
All right, Adam, thank you. A new Texas law bans discussions or actions around race, gender identity, and sexual orientation in K-12 schools.
Some school districts are turning to the Texas Education Agency for guidance on how to implement everything.
But in Northeast ISD, they have decided to take matters into their own hands. Erica Hernandez explains.
Following motion in writing.
Over 800 bills passed this past regular session. In the special sessions, it's been a lot for all of us.
Dr. Sean Micah from NEISD says the district, along with its legal team, have been working hard to make sure they were in compliance with every new state law by September 1st.
Rather than wait for TEA's guidance to come out, because quite frankly, they're overwhelmed with all the changes as well, we went and sought our attorney's advice about how to interpret it and then how to deploy it into our schools.
One of those bills that required some big changes is Senate Bill 12, also known as the Parental Rights Law. It requires schools get annual written permission from parents before students join any club or receive routine health services like eye and hearing exams. It also bans diversity, equity, and inclusion programs along with LGBTQ plus support. NEISD put out these flyers to employees with specific language staff could use. It says, quote, "Thank you for beginning to share that with me. This is an important topic for you and your family. By law, I am not allowed to discuss this topic with students and am required to notify your parent guardian."
How do you gain that student's trust if, they don't want those conversations that they're having at school being told to their parents?
Yeah, I think ultimately you have to listen to how the bill played out in the ledge to understand where they were coming from. The legislator's standpoint was that is the child's parent and they have a right to know.
Is there at any point, like say if a child spoke to a counselor, is there a confidentiality still there between that counselor, or that goes away too?
No, ma'am. So if a child brings up something to do with sexual transitioning or anything, we must contact the parent and let them know that happened.
Critics of the law, like ACLU Texas and students engaged in Advancing Texas, say it's unconstitutional.
What I've heard from the campuses is some of them are upset by it. And they have asked or requested certain things, and what we've always done is go back to that bill language and read to them what the legislature passed, and making them aware that this isn't something that Northeast changed on their own, but rather that a law passed.
The ACLU and a group of LGBTQ plus and student rights organizations have filed a lawsuit to block this new school state law. In the meantime, NEISD and other districts still have to comply. Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
2 months after the tragic Hill Country floods, Governor Greg Abbott signing today into law new rules for camp safety.
So this new law is the Heavens 27 Camp Safety Act, and it puts several safety measures into place at camps. And the biggest one would prevent cabins from being right in floodplains.
And some camps along the Guadalupe River were against that part. Vista Camps released a statement to alumni and parents saying in part, quote, "Unfortunately, we will no longer be able to use 3 of our cabins, although these cabins were not damaged in the recent flooding and did not pose risks to campers. Updated guidelines require their retirement. This change results in the loss of 144 camper spots for the summer. This additional financial burden comes on top of the significant challenges we are already facing as part of our recovery." End quote.
And other camps also feel similarly, and we wanted to know how locals feel about this new law. Our Courtney Friedman spent the day checking this out. She went to the Hill Country and spoke with survivors, leaders, and business owners, and they all agree that saving lives is the #1 priority. They also admit that there would be issues if some camps had to close.
How important are the camps to the economy here?
I would say vital. A lot of the local stores and eateries, you know, they have a big summer because of the camps. They rent from me.
The people we talked to agree with the safety updates in the new laws, but they also hope if the camps do begin to suffer, that communities and donors would come in with some financial help.
Tonight, we're asking a question, and that is, how did abandoned puppies wind up right in the middle of a City Hall power struggle?
Yeah, it sounds bizarre, right?
Yeah.
Well, today, 3 San Antonio City Council members pushed to force a vote on new fines for people who dump pets or other animals. Now, this comes after Mayor Gina Ortiz-Jones pulled that issue off of yesterday's agenda.
Our Garrett Berger shows us how a fight over who calls the shots at City Hall is now back on.
This would have been an easy, unanimous vote.
A proposal against abandoning animals yanked off the San Antonio City Council's agenda this week at the mayor's request.
This is obstruction of our legislative process.
Now 3 council members from across the City Council's political spectrum are forcing it to come up for a vote, using what's known as a 3-signature memo.
This is something that San Antonio residents expect that their leaders take action on.
The proposal in question would fine people between $500 and $2,000 for abandoning any animal in San Antonio. But it stems from a council consideration request, or CCR, that Alderete Gavito filed last year. And Mayor Gina Ortiz-Jones wants anything from before she and the new council got sworn in to be resubmitted, saying in part in a statement, quote, "Following the CCR process, all items must be reviewed by the new governance committee, and this ordinance did not go through the new committee." The council members say that's not the process.
There are no expired CCRs. Just because a new mayor comes into office doesn't mean all the work that's been done over the past 6 months to a year should just disappear.
The council had fought about this and other changes the mayor tried to make to the CCR process 3 weeks ago, with these same 3 council members forcing the issue. Afterwards, Jones seemed to back down, saying, quote, "We will revert to the process outlined in the CCR ordinance."
Through conversations with chiefs of staffs, right, there was the understanding in which our CCRs would continue to move through that process.
Did you think that fight was over?
We did think it was over, right? Only
but
to have it.
It's not, though, apparently.
Well, I mean, I don't know. We're going to have to see.
If Jones tries to keep holding back items, today's move shows council members could still easily sidestep her.
It's like having basically city council veto power.
To the chair of UTSA's political science department, this is a strange hill for the mayor to fight on.
Why this issue? There are other pressing issues that she could put her, dig in deep and say, no, we're not going to go. This is the line I'm not going to cross. Animals? Not so much.
The item has already been added to the council's September 11th agenda. Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
Hey, now we're going to give you a live look outside at our roads. Very happy to tell you there's been at least a slight improvement here at this section here. This is I-10 at Callahan East, where you could see traffic flowing smoothly in both directions. But the main area of concern here was that 410 ramp, which is where you see all those cars kind of backed up there. That was shut off at 5 o'clock, but now that's been reopened. So that is an improvement here at 6:08 on this Friday.
A local high school mourning the loss of one of its beloved teachers. And today, Northeast ISD is sharing a photo with us. This is 65-year-old Timothy Kitterman. This photo taken back in 2019 after he won Teacher of the Year. The MacArthur High School teacher suffered a medical episode on campus yesterday during school hours and later died. Kitterman spent over 10 years teaching American Sign Language at Mac and also served as an adjunct professor at Our Lady of the Lake University.
And staying on Our Lady of the Lake University, budget cuts there have ended 16 degree programs at the university, and this is something that is affecting nearly 200 students and also 19 professors who have been let go.
So one of those cuts was PhD Leadership Studies. It's a unique program that students say doesn't transfer to most other universities. Sarah Acosta spoke to one student who says that several classmates are having to pivot or start from scratch, losing time and thousands of dollars.
How much money did you put into this?
As of right now, $130,000.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars spent on a PhD leadership program at Our Lady of the Lake University that has been cut. The problem is many of the students who are in the first or third years may have to start from scratch or transfer to other programs that are completely different. Fourth-year PhD student Lori Hidalgo says that's because it's such a unique program that doesn't exist in most universities. She says she is fortunate to be in the dissertation stage of the program and will be able to get her degree at the end of the year, but says that's not the case for most of her cohorts who have lost money and time.
I feel bad for my fellow students, that joined this program with all hopes of finishing.
This program is one of 16 OLLU is cutting because of low enrollment and budget cuts impacting 200 students and 19 professors. Other students who are part of the PhD leadership program told us they are exploring legal options after they say they are left with no other options. Lori explained the university set up a consultant-based teach-out plan out of the Rio Grande Valley, but she says it's not what students had signed up for. One of their biggest frustrations is how the university dealt with the blow, all via email.
Shows their lack of accountability and their lack of transparency.
Lori says she is working with first or second year students to help them find the best way for them to move forward.
We were blindsided, and we were even more hurt to find out, that our professors weren't even being given an opportunity or didn't have information to help us.
The university sent us a long statement that says, in part, they are developing a new strategic plan that includes launching high-demand programs beginning next summer. I'm Sarah Costa, KSAT 12 News.
Hopefully those students and professors find some solution moving forward. So 'tis the season for College Game Day. I know people are all riled up about this. The Alamo Dome is going to play host to a big-time rivalry game tomorrow. And as fans get ready for Texas State versus UTSA, they're also thinking about how much it's going to cost them over at the Dome. And a little later on, we're going to show you what you can expect.
Our own newsroom is riled up about that game. Also happening this weekend, a little Powerball drawing.
Just a little.
It's up to $1.8 billion. Now, San Antonio store owners are preparing for lotto fever. That's next here on the news at 6.
I know that so many people are excited, like you and millions of other people across the country. I am keeping my fingers crossed.
There's a big reason why. Yes. Tomorrow's Powerball drawing is $1.8 billion. Our Katrina Weber tells us how people around town are feeling about that.
It's not quite Powerball fever yet at Hackberry Food Mart, but Samir Nathani is expecting things to heat up quite a bit by Saturday night.
And 9 o'clock is the cutoff, so it's usually right before 9 o'clock when everybody comes in.
He's basing his prediction on what happened this past Wednesday, ahead of yet another Powerball drawing where no one won the top prize. That and the fact that there hasn't been a big winner in months has caused the jackpot to swell to $1.8 billion and counting.
I just won the jackpot, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, maybe after that 2 pies.
Even people who don't play all the time seem to be jumping into the Powerball pool.
I just won. I only need one to win.
Want to win? Let's see. Maybe pay off my mortgage.
Probably go on a lot of trips. Bahamas, here I come.
Lady Luck has actually visited San Antonio on at least 2 occasions lately. Someone who bought a scratch-off ticket at this Northwest Side store Thursday was the second person in town to win $1 million in less than a month.
I think the most I've ever won on anything lottery related was $500, but You never know.
More than $1.5 billion is enough to buy a whole lot of dreams. Everything from a new place to live to a new place to visit. But does a bigger jackpot actually mean you have a bigger chance of winning?
Just keep your fingers crossed.
Nathani believes no matter how big the jackpot, it calls for a whole lot of luck. Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does. Well, some people would feel pretty lucky this weekend if they got any of this rain that we keep talking about.
Yeah, and we coincidentally we call it the rain lottery.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Right? We didn't plan that, but we do. We call it the rain lottery because it's really luck of the draw for exact location and amounts. You know, some neighborhoods will just maybe get a little bit. Some could be completely dry, while others get several inches. That's the lottery of the rain around here. And it's no different than most rainfall scenarios that we have. So Saturday, some showers. Afternoon and evening, 40%. Sunday, off and on. It's going to be many showers and storms, 70%. But I'm not expecting that 70%, all day long. This is just going to be intermittently. We'll have, it's like I'm doing the robot, doing the dance. What I'm trying to say is showers and storms popping up, here and there, off and on throughout the day in random spots. And by the end of the day, could hit about 70% of South Central Texas. So that's what we mean by that. As for the amounts, we could have a random 5-inch bullseye or more, especially where a few downpours would hit the same place. Impact, mainly travel. The chance for flash flooding is our primary risk here. So the low water crossings and the typical routine for Flash Flood Alley, which is where we live with all the rock, the limestone that we're built on, and the hills as well. Everything runs right off. Here are the remnants of what was Hurricane Lorena just a few days ago. And notice this has the leftover energy, has already brought some rain to parts of Texas, but closer to Interstate 20, get to Abilene, east of Lubbock toward Wichita Falls. That's the alleyway so far for the rain-making energy, but we're expecting some of it to turn southward into this weekend. We even have weak frontal boundary that's going to help us out tomorrow. So tomorrow afternoon, I think starting across the hill country especially, some widely separated showers and storms, embedded downpours, of course, as well. And it's where where the heaviest downpours set up that really will dictate, how much rain we get and where. I think most of the action will kind of fizzle out by Saturday night. There could be some showers closer to the Rio Grande because that's where the energy is going to be coming from, and that's where it's going to be closer to. Then we get into Sunday, and it's just off and on, popping up here and there. Those little showers popping up here and there. And don't pay close attention to the exact location. For example, oh, hey, it's going to hit northeast side of town and Shirts at 9:03 a.m. No, it could be anywhere on the map, okay? This Futurecast is best for basically aerial coverage and timing, not location. I wish our science was better and we were there, but we just aren't. So anyway, it could be anywhere on the map just popping up. We could use the rain, though, not just here. West Texas and our neck of the woods, we need the rain. We still need more showers and storms. We just, of course, have to watch out for that off chance of some localized flash flooding. Temperatures taking a little dip with the rain chances. 90 tomorrow, 87 on Sunday, then mid-90s into next week. It's a weatherversary. Today, back in the year 2000, we hit 111 degrees, the hottest temperature on record in San Antonio, the hottest official temperature on record. 97 right now, dew point of 58, so not too humid. That's nice. 104, though, Carrizo Springs, Crystal City area, even Laredo. 92, Kerrville, 93 in Rock Springs. And, of course, as we go through the evening, temperatures falling through the 90s, then 80s, the typical routine. And then tomorrow we'll see some of the scattered showers and storms. I think 40% coverage in the afternoon and evening. High temperatures making it up to around 90 locally. We could break into the 90s, especially where we get a little extra sunshine. It's going to be a bit of a mixture out there. And then notice next week, by Monday, 91 the high, but some showers and storms lingering potentially in the morning. Then we really dry out for a good chunk of next week with a lot of sunshine. Hey, coming up at 6:45, a tropical update. We had Lorena in the Pacific, but we're looking for potential development in the Atlantic, and we'll get to that in a bit.
Okay, more to watch. Thanks, Adam.
Good stuff. Something else that we're watching, it's big game coverage, week 2, and you're hitting the road again.
Yes, we're hitting the road, and it starts in Castroville. So we'll preview our road trip week 2. Also, we're checking in with Adam Barraza, photographer. He has us appreciating the little things. And the Cowboys dropped their opener in Philly. More on that game, as well as UTSA, Texas State tomorrow after the break.
It's always a tough game, and when you're playing a burning ISD school. So I'm excited for the challenge, and I do believe that it is another measuring stick of where we're at right now.
Medina Valley is ready for the challenge as we hit the road for week 2 in Big Board Sports. Tonight's 3-game big game coverage road trip will begin in Castroville at Medina Valley High School, where the Panthers signed up for a non-district battle with Bernie Champion. The Greyhounds rolled United Central 58-10 last week. And on the other hand, Medina Valley is coming off of a 12-point week 1 triumph over Leander Glen. That's the start the Panthers have been working towards as the program carves out their legacy just 2 years in now in Class 6A.
Oh, super important. You know, last year we went 0-3 and then we rattled off 4 straight. Playing in a tough non-district, I believe, helps us for when we get into district. I feel that, you know, I mean, we're starting 1-0. That's better than what we started last year, you know, and so it's one game at a time. So we're excited for the challenge.
We've seen them before. We know what they do. We've seen them. Their offense is pretty explosive, just throwing the ball and spread offense. So we're just going to need to stop them and score enough points to get the win.
It's pretty special, this environment, the community. Like, family grew up here, just being able to come do what they did in the past is pretty special.
Well, after Medina Valley, photographer Adam Barraza will venture to Hondo, where Carrizo Springs is in town, and lastly, Sabinal hosts Harper. And speaking of Adam, let's check in with him now.
Yeah, hey Mary, it's week 2 of the road trip. Of course, we're in Medina Valley, like you said. It's just going to be a great game. The guys are getting ready in the locker room right now. And, you know, with football comes the small little things. It's the little things that make a big difference in football, which I enjoy and I love. For example, Medina Valley here has 2 flags when they run out. It's going to be the American flag and their school flag, the Medina Valley flag, along with a pop-up. Those are the little things that I enjoy, especially when you play home and away like the road trip does. So with that being said, I'm going to send it back to you, Mary.
Thank you, Adam. It really is the little things. And here's our BGC Game of the Week info. Piper and Johnson, they kick off at 7:30. We have 13 games on the schedule, so be sure to catch the highlights tonight on the Night Beat. Well, Brian Schottenheimer's head coaching debut with the Dallas Cowboys, although a 24-20 loss, it was promising against the defending champions. Now, Schottenheimer took advantage of some early Philly antics, delivering a well-executed offensive game plan in the first half, which saw Javonte Williams score not once, but twice.
A lot of holes. It was a good push, especially against a great D-line. I like the way they fought, aggressive. Everybody was coming off the ball together. I feel like we did good in pass protecting Dak. But I feel like second half we kind of let off the gas a little bit.
Well, next chance to shine. Dallas hosts the Giants next Sunday at noon. The Texans' highly anticipated season opener on the West Coast is Sunday afternoon at 3:25. That one is against the Rams. But before that, will UTSA avenge last season's 49-10 loss to Texas State at Bobcat Stadium? Well, this time around, the game is in San Antonio, where the Roadrunners are 29-3 in the Jeff Traylor era. Let's hear how both coaches are getting their players ready for tomorrow's 2:30 kickoff.
What we've talked about is if somebody has to get you fired up to play hard this week, then, you know, this isn't the week the head coach should have to use any motivational tricks.
You got to go out there and just worry about yourself, the discipline, the execution, your mindset.
Jeff Traylor is not messing around this time around.
The song Eye of the Tiger has got to be playing.
Yes.
On a loop. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. All right, our KSAT Q&A is coming up next. We're talking about a giant merger, and it's a done deal in San Antonio. Right after this. A massive merger is now complete in San Antonio. UTSA and UT Health San Antonio have joined forces to become UT San Antonio. Lots of U's, lots of T's. So what does this merger mean?
Well, here to explain all of this is Jennifer Potter. She is Senior Executive Vice President of Research and Innovation for UT San Antonio. So let's start here with the most basic of questions. So UTSA is known, that's a university, and then you have UT Health San Antonio, obviously known for healthcare and research. So now you have this merger. What does this mean for both of these entities, both of these organizations?
Thank you so much. We're so delighted to be here. It's been a long year, a lot of work by staff and faculty and leadership to make this happen. We think it's the collision of two extraordinary top-tier universities, and now that we're together, we're able to even move faster to make this university great and proud and wonderful for San Antonio.
So for UTSA students, staff, faculty, does this mean anything in terms of a change for them?
Yes and no. I think it means great opportunity continuing to extend for those with health careers and opportunities to do research and expand their education, continue to look at larger graduate opportunities. And for undergraduates, you are still a roadrunner. You are still building all of the spirit and all the great offerings that you're going to have for a great college experience. It gives you more opportunity, more options, and those are good things for students.
Yeah, absolutely.
On the other side of this, you have the patients, people who go to UT Health San Antonio. What does this merger mean for them specifically?
It's such a good question. It was very important in thinking this through that we continued to offer the great care that we offer at UT Health San Antonio. Keep that going, continue to improve access, make sure that all of our citizens have the opportunity to receive great care, while also taking advantage of the research and innovation activities that we can do with a combined institution. For example, artificial intelligence. We have a brand new school of artificial intelligence, cyber, and computing at UT San Antonio. All of those scientists can now help us to make care better and look at the best ways to deliver services to patients.
There are so many things that are really special needs, specific needs that a lot of patients turn to UT Health for. An issue we know is very prevalent in our area, diabetes, certain types of cancers. Does this merger increase that care or have the potential to change that in any way?
Absolutely. The more we focus, and as one university, this gives us an opportunity to centralize our mission. President Amy has been laser focused on continuing to grow UT San Antonio and also understand our health mission. When we have these opportunities to bring all of these individuals together, we can focus on, you're absolutely right, cancer, a very significant issue in our community, diabetes, metabolic disorders, and I will add dementia research as well, which is disproportionately impacting our region. We want Alzheimer's research. We are prepared to deliver the next cures and innovative treatments for those, and we're ready to do that as a combined university.
When the merger was announced, there was sort of the talk about what this would mean for the overall economy here. So if I'm not a patient at UT Health San Antonio, if I'm not a student at UTSA, what does this mean for everyone else as far as the economy?
A lot. So in numbers, we can think about a way to expand the already $440 billion economy around health and that. But when you think about what we can do as a combined university, it allows us to extend our growth and depth and bring more dollars, more jobs into the community. Great cities deserve great universities. We already had two great universities. Combining us means we have the ability to multiply what we do and bring such greatness to the community. We could not be prouder to be the university for San Antonio, UT San Antonio.
And I bet there's a PR aspect of this as well, you know, knowing that this is one giant umbrella for these organizations that already had names for themselves. That's got to attract a little bit more attention.
Yes, and it also allows us to hone the mission a little bit and communicate together. If folks are driving around San Antonio on any of the highways this weekend, you're going to see new signs, new branding with our new shield and logo. We're still going to have Rowdy, and I'm new, I'm from the health side, excuse me. I'm going to get in trouble on Monday. But we have that, but we also have a new term that we're talking about, and it's your ambition has a place, and it's here. And I am so proud. This is I've been at Harvard and I've been at Emory University, two nationally known organizations. I have never been prouder of this city and the chance to work at UT San Antonio. It's a defining moment for the city, a defining moment for our staff and faculty and what we can do. And I hope that it's a defining impact on what we can bring to the city for all of the issues that we face and how we can improve them right here. Local solutions to local challenges.
Absolutely.
Jennifer Potter, thank you so much for joining here on the set. We appreciate you and we hope to see you again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
There you go. Got rowdy in there. We'll be right back. All right, mark your calendars. The second annual Texas Eats Food Festival is happening September 20th at the Boeing Techport Center. You'll be able to try food from 20 top restaurants from across Texas, made by Michelin and James Beard award-winning chefs.
I know you're hungry, but first you need to get tickets. So scan that QR code in order to get started with that. A portion of the proceeds will benefit the Community Foundation of the Texas Hill Country.
All right, coming up tomorrow, it is a game that so many people have been looking forward to.
We're talking about the UTSA Roadrunners. They're going to be taking on the Texas State Bobcats. The Alamo Dome is going to be packed with fans from both schools.
RJ Marquez breaks down this year's pricing at the Dome and what you need to know before you go.
In less than 24 hours, these parking lots at the Alamo Dome will be packed with rowdy fans and also tailgaters as we get set for the UTSA Texas State football game. The I-35 rivalry renewed right here at the Dome, and we are expecting more than 40,000 fans that have already bought tickets. But while UTSA wants to break some fan attendance records, one thing that they don't want to do is break your bank account. Well, we did some research to check out the least expensive ticket for Saturday's game. That will be $22 in the 300 section. But if you want to pay more to get to the hundreds, that'll be anywhere from $85 to $113. So what's the price of some concessions this year at UTSA games? We're looking at about $6.50 for a hot dog, $6.50 for a soft drink, and about $8 for nachos. So altogether, if you wanted to get yourself a little bit of food and the least expensive ticket, that'll be about $45 total. Not too bad. Well, what will it take for you to get to the Dome? Via Park and Ride is available for anyone that wants to come, whether it's students or any other UTSA fans. That is $260 for a round trip with two different locations available. That would be the Crossroads location and the Brooks location. We spoke to UTSA Athletic Director Lisa Campos about some of the changes that they have done this year to help increase the fan experience.
And for our season ticket holders this year, for the first time, we're going to have a dedicated entry for them. For fans who want like a pre-game experience, a sideline experience, we're selling those. And for those, who don't like the traditional tailgating, but want to do something more for the family, listen to live music, play a lot of family games, kid games, the HE Plaza is the place for those fans.
Now, parking at the Dome, that is limited to people that have UTSA permits. But if you want to park around here, the Convention Center garage, the South Alamo lot, and the Martinez lot on Cesar Chavez, those are all available. Those are city-owned lots. Now, one other thing to note is that students get in for free at UTSA games, so that's a pretty nice perk. Also, keep in mind that the lots here open at 8 o'clock. Permit only. That's when the tailgate will start. So get ready to fire up the grill and ready for some great action. UTSA taking on Texas State at the Alamo Dome. It should be a great atmosphere. Back to you guys.
We're excited. Right now, we want to give you a live look outside. Here's our live cam. All right, 97 degrees out there right now as you get ready for this weekend. Obviously, everybody wants to have a good time. You want to know we're going to have rain or when we're going to have rain, just download the KSAT Weather Authority app. That's a good piece of advice there.
That's right. And then Cassie's going to have your full forecast after the break. All right, so this rain that we're talking about this weekend, it's all from the tropics. Makes it a little bit of a different situation.
Yeah, a little bit of a different situation. This time of year particularly, we get remnants, leftovers of tropical systems in the Pacific. It gives us upper energy and upper level moisture just to add to rainfall potential. Now, in the Atlantic Basin, which is where if Texas got a storm, or when we do, it's coming in from the Atlantic or the Gulf. That's all the Atlantic Basin. And the peak of hurricane season is September 10th. Usually we'd see a lot of activity out there right now, but there's just one area of potential development way out in the Atlantic. And actually, the tropical wave there is closer to Africa. But as that heads westward, a 70% chance of it developing into the next tropical cyclone. Now, keep in mind, that's actually down from a 90% chance just a few days ago. Here's what we're looking at coming from the Pacific. It's this leftover moisture. You see the clouds in white here, and even some shower activity developing from the rain-making energy from the remnants of what was Lorena. And that has caused some rain in other parts of Texas farther to the north of us, especially along and north of Interstate 20. However, some of that energy is going to dip our way. A few showers earlier, far western Val Verde County, but what's left over, that bright green, that's basically leftover cloud cover is all that is. Some of the high clouds rolling in. Tomorrow, 40% chance. That's mainly afternoon and evening. Then Sunday, up to 70% chance. So basically think of it this way. Some showers tomorrow afternoon, many on on Sunday rather. But Sunday's going to be off and on. So they're just going to be popping up randomly here and there throughout the day from before sunrise all the way through sunset. So it's a bit of the rain lottery because of the random nature of it. So cross your fingers because some neighborhoods may not even get a shower while others could see that random 5-inch bullseye or more. That's what we deal with here, especially where we get a few downpours in one spot. Primary concern is impact to travel on roadways. The potential for flash flooding, water rising on the roads, and even the low water crossings and drainage ditches and such. That's what we'll be watching closely. Looking at the futurecast, as usual, don't pay close attention to the exact placement of these, just overall coverage and timing. Scattered in nature, widely separated tomorrow afternoon. Anytime after the noon hour, we could see them pop up. Maybe a few showers hanging on here or there Saturday night. But for the most part, the focus is on Sunday. Pre-dawn through the midday, all the way to sunset. Some of these random downpours popping up. And they're not going to be moving extremely fast, which is one reason why they could give us a quick several inches over a short period of time, but they're also not going to be stationary. So that's why it's really just the impact of travel that we're looking at. But we need the rain. We've talked about this. Most of the state in good shape. Here and far west Texas, completely different story. We still have the exceptional drought here. Divine, Lytle, Natalia, and parts of southeastern Medina County, really. San Antonio, still in the extreme drought, this red color. We need more rain. Of course, we just don't want the flooding. Now, luckily, the hail threat, extremely low in this situation. I mean, almost nothing. Almost, not quite, but almost. I mean, maybe some pea-size hail, and that's about it. Temperature-wise, near 90 tomorrow. We'll be in the 80s on Sunday, whereas today we made it to 97. And actually, yesterday, we did hit 100 when the official final climate summary came out as 100 degrees. So that's now 20 triple-digit days so far this year. Luckily, we don't have any others in sight, and we're way behind pace of the past 3 years. 2023, we had nearly 70 by now, and we ended up with 75. Currently at 97. See those high, thin cirrus clouds coming in? Cirrus are near us. Stratus coming at us. Rain is on the way. My haiku, you're welcome, kids. You can use it at school when you have to do a haiku. I think the syllables are right. May have to add a word. Anyway, it is pertinent to today. Now, notice we're still 100 degrees closer to the Rio Grande, 102 Eagle Pass, even Cotulla at 100. Feeling that heat out there. Temperatures falling slowly into the 80s this evening. Then we start the day tomorrow at 76, 93 in the afternoon. It's really a 40% chance of the showers and storms tomorrow. I know that graphic said 30, but count on 40% chance, and that's mainly afternoon and evening. And then the best coverage, it's going to be random in nature, but coming and going throughout the day on Sunday. We'll be back right after this.
At 6:53 this evening, many of us might be winding down, but our sports department is very much ramping up now.
Yeah, they got a long night ahead of them.
They do.
Let's get right to Barry Rominger, who is in our newsroom talking about KSAT Sports Now coming your way in 7 minutes.
Yes, KSAT Sports Now coming up on our streaming platforms at 7 o'clock. Today, the San Antonio Spurs revealing some shocking information about their rookie guard Dylan Harper. Harper underwent surgery on his left thumb. The surgery was successful. We will have more information on this on KSAT Sports Now. Also hear from Dak Prescott and Javonte Williams after the Cowboys' Week 1 loss in Philadelphia. The Texans are nearing their season opener against the Rams on Sunday. C.J. Gardner-Johnson telling us what has led up to his now available status to play on Sunday. Plus, we have a full big game coverage breakdown, every single area game that's going down this weekend, and what you can expect from our KSAT 12 coverage on air, streaming, and online. Plus, we have more from UTSA's athletic director, Lisa Campos, on what you can expect for the UTSA fan experience this fall ahead of UTSA's rivalry game versus Texas State tomorrow. That's all coming up on KSAT Sports Now at 7 o'clock. We'll be right back after the break.
All right, tomorrow. Best way to put it, some storms in the afternoon and evening. Sunday, many storms. Still not everybody getting it, but better coverage off and on.
All right, thanks, Adam. And thank you for watching the news at 6.
See you right back here for the night team.